Is a virtual walkthrough of the Figure Ground exhibition on our second floor. And this exhibition was the result of an open call that we put out for BIPOC artists from the region. And I'm going to give you a glimpse of what that show looks like tonight. My name is Bradley Butler. I am the executive director and curator at Main Street Arts in Clifton Springs. And tonight we wanted to share the work of the 19 artists who are included in this exhibition, Figure Ground. So first, I'm going to start out by sharing images of their work and sharing some of their artist statements with you, and then we'll be taking a walk through the exhibition in a bit here. The idea for this exhibition came after the renewed national attention to the Black Lives Matter movement. And we wanted to find some way to contribute to making things more equitable for BIPOC artists. So this exhibition is a small step to being more active in making our gallery calendar more representative of our region of upstate New York. So this is very much just the first small step that we're trying to take here. And the title Figure Ground comes from Figure Ground organization, which is part of the Gestalt theory of psychology. And it states that the whole of anything is greater than its parts. So we're striving to make our collective whole even more representative of our region of upstate New York. So first, we'll be taking a look at individual works by artists, and then I'll hope to give you a walkthrough of the show. So right now, you're looking at a photo of one part of the exhibition where you can see some of the work here. So first, a piece by Deshaun Aubrey of Rochester. This is called Necrosis, and it's acrylic, spray paint, oil pigment stick, and oil pastel on canvas. And Deshaun explores landscape and painting in an abstract surrealist way, giving colors, or keeping colors and forms playful. His works are reactions to everyday news or media, conversations and emotions, and he has a solo exhibition opening at the Yards in Rochester tonight, which runs through October 11th. Catherine Bacabalinas of Honeyway Falls has two pieces in the show. This one is called Corrosion Number 2, and this one is called Breaking Through Stereotypes. Both of them are lithographs with other media as well. And themes in Catherine's work center around technology and its role in hindering our ability to appreciate the architectural environment that surrounds us. She is the president of the Print Club of Rochester, and was included in the members exhibition that was here for the Print Club this summer. She'll also be included in upcoming Small Works exhibition, which opens in November. And that was juried by Tiffany Gaines of the Birchfield Penny in Buffalo. So you'll be able to see more work by Catherine coming up in the Small Works show. Next is work by Gabrielle Cohen of Schoharie. This piece is called Hexagon Pillar, and it's acrylic sheeting and spray paint. And then here's another view of it as well. And then there's a second piece called, it's untitled, but it's epoxy resin, tracing paper, tape, and acrylic paint. So we have a 2D and a 3D piece by Gabrielle in our exhibition here. And she's a sculptor and recent graduate of University of Tampa, Florida. And she's inspired by the prevalence of antique furniture in the region of upstate New York. And her most recent work explores the dichotomy that exists between how we value handmade and machine-made objects. This piece is by Kaylin Fontanelle of Rochester, and it's called Liberty Extinguished, and it was made in Adobe Illustrator. And Kaylin is a Heron clan of the Seneca Nation and uses photography and digital art to make his thoughts and opinions into visual statements to show his perspective of the world as an indigenous teenager in a predominant white America. And you can see the text on the bottom of this piece is an altered version of the New Colossus, which is what appears on the base of the Statue of Liberty. Next is a piece by Margaret Groton of Ithaca. This is called Self-Portrait Awakening, and it's oil on canvas. Margaret is a senior BFA candidate at Cornell University, and she makes figurative work of celestial and grand black femme bodies, portraying spiritual energy through the marks that make up the body. She says, as a free-spirited black woman raised in white populated spaces, she's dedicated to making artwork that celebrates women who dare to be expressive and the painful journeys that lead to freedom. This is the first of two pieces by Michelle Guerra of Canandaigua. It's called Eli and Frodo on the Copse Road, and this is oil on canvas. And then we have also another an untitled portrait, also oil on canvas. Michelle is a portrait and figure artist working primarily in oil and pastel, and she is obsessed with capturing the nuances of personality and expression in the human face, especially in faces of color, which are too often underrepresented. This piece is by Devin Hedman of Livonia. It's called This Backwards Life, and it's a mixed media painting on canvas. And Devin started making art while attending Monroe Community College in 2001 and went on to the University at Buffalo. And he loves art in all media and methodologies and feels that it is the truest form of expression. And he appreciates the different meanings that can come from a work of art depending on what the viewer brings to it, which is definitely something that, I think we can either think about or not when making art, but it's interesting to think about how this is a collaborative thing. When people look at art, they bring something to the work. Next is the first of two pieces by Lauren Jimerson of Rochester. This one is called Confluence, and it's made up of beads on fabric. And then we've got The Alien, and this is an oil on canvas. And Lauren Jimerson is Heron Clan of the Seneca Nation, also mother to Kaylin, who we saw a piece by a few minutes ago. And she's an art therapist and fine artist located in Rochester. She states that this work is the embodiment of her indigenous experience. Next, we have a few pieces by Della Kina, and this one is Skoden Choker, and it's beads on suede. And then another piece consisting of the same materials of beads on suede. This is called Land Back. And then a collage using acrylic and appropriated images and feathers, petals, and suede. And this is called Land and Body. Della is a current student at Cornell University and a self-proclaimed indigenous Barbie. She has spent a lot of energy questioning how she wants to represent her indigeneity and her femininity. And this pink wash series of reflections on indigenization and decolonization stems from a refusal to be ashamed of how she presents every aspect of her identity. So she collects stories and skills from her life and beyond using social media, art, and music to share. This piece is by Iris Kirkwood of Buffalo. It's called Smoke Ring, and it's a mixed media piece with marker and colored pencil and pastel. And then this one is called I Said No. This is using the same materials. And Iris is a black female artist from Buffalo, and she states that human beings see the world through their feelings. Moments of joy, sorrow, loss, love, and shame tell the story of all of us. Using elements of the short story, including setting, character, and point of view, she creates visual narratives in her work. Amanda Lai of Henrietta is the next work here. This is called Red Tail Hawk and Oak, and this is oil pastel and ink on paper. And then a second piece called Teddy, and this is oil pastel on paper. And Amanda received a Bachelor's of Arts from the University of Rochester in Studio Arts and Psychology. And she is a storyteller working with images rather than words. And her work explores the boundary between the personal and interpersonal, working in a combination of painting, narrative, and digital art. And her work touches upon the internal versus external as it relates to social relationships. This painting is by Dunstan Luke of Rochester, and it's called Hudson Avenue. It is an oil painting on canvas. And from early childhood in Kingston, Jamaica, Dunstan has followed his passion for art. He's a self-taught artist, and he's developed his own special, unique, and distinct style. And he enjoys when he is able to evoke some emotion in the viewer to a point that they are also inspired to create something. And next is a piece by Kieran Macher of Geneva, and this is a letterpress book on handmade paper, and it's called Endo Warrior's Wail. Next is a watercolor painting called Pain Journal. And then another watercolor painting called Betrayal Island. And Kieran is an associate professor of American Studies at Hobart William Smith Colleges in Geneva, and is an interdisciplinary scholar and artist. Her work seeks to find resilience in some of society's most painfully hidden stories, particularly around racialized misogyny. And through her work, she hopes to amplify the unheard and bring awareness to social diseases surrounding women's health under patriarchy and white supremacy. The next piece here is a print called Echo, monoprint by Claudia Meha-Willett of Webster. Claudia was born in Colombia, South America, and she attended Monroe Community College, SUNY Geneseo, and Nazareth College, earning degrees in special education and art. Now retired, her printmaking journey continues to evolve, and she enjoys using unconventional materials in her work to create textures and generate new visual interest. She was also included in the Print Club of Rochester exhibition that we had over the summer. This piece is by Gina Park of Rochester, called Going Home, and it's a mixed media piece including felt, sequins, beads, and thread. And Gina was born in Korea, where she studied art and design, and after moving to the US, she began making art with fabrics and a variety of other materials. Her work expresses the inevitable pain and beauty of our collective human existence. This piece is by Videhi Reddy of Ithaca. It's called Jesus Is Not My God, and it's intaglio on Hahnemule paper with chincolle. And then we have a cut paper piece called Ma Durga. And Videhi was born in India and is currently pursuing her BFA at Cornell University. She is inspired by the culture of the country she grew up in, and her artwork borrows heavily from the spiritual, mythical, and metaphysical to help translate human feelings and emotions. And with her work, she aims to bridge the gap between people, injustice, and justice. Because human pain and joy are universal, and art is a universal language, is what she says. This painting is an oil painting on panel by Yaqub Shabazz of Rochester, and it's called Joie is Rising. Yaqub was raised on Chicago's South Side, where he absorbed a wide range of experiences that would become the inspiration for much of his artistic expression. He is a former case manager for returning prisoners and youth offenders in Wisconsin, and currently runs Sankofa Studios in East Rochester. He studied sociology and spends a great deal of time writing and exploring the culture and traditions of Africans around the globe. And this exploration is reflected in his paintings, wood carvings, prints, and also his sketches. Mijin Shin of Rochester is the next piece here. It's called Small World Network Model, and it is a screen print. Mijin was born in South Korea, graduated from Hongik University with a BFA in printmaking and received her MFA from SUNY Buffalo. She's currently a visiting assistant professor at U of R, a co-founder of Mirabeau Press, and vice president of the Print Club of Rochester. And through her work, she addresses an interdependency throughout societal systems. And she'll also be included in our first exhibition of 2021 in a group show. And details on that will be announced soon. Let's see, the next piece is a print by Maya Srinivasan, and this is called Dysregulation. It's a hard ground etching, engraving, and aquatint on Hanamiu paper. And then the last piece here is called Diva Cup Daydream. It's an oil on canvas. And Maya was born and raised on Long Island in New York and is currently pursuing her BFA at Cornell University. Though her work spans multiple mediums, she's particularly drawn to painting and print media. Her artistic practice draws heavily from her experiences with race, identity, and mental health. And the reoccurring themes of perception, identity, and experience all contribute to her ongoing mission to better understand and contextualize mental illness and the individual consciousness. And I just want to remind everyone that you can see this work for yourself by coming to the gallery for an appointment to see the show. And you can do that by going to our website, mainstreetartscs.org. Work is available also in our online shop, and an interactive version of the show is coming soon. So I hope you have enjoyed seeing the work from this exhibition, Figure Ground. And I'm going to do a walkthrough with you now, so you can actually see the work in its natural environment here in the gallery. So this is our second floor, if you've not been here. And the thing I like about the second floor actually is there's two different paint colors to the wall. We've got the typical white or off-white, and then this nice middle gray. And that gives for a great experience for viewing artwork in different ways. So also there are two rooms for this exhibition. And so I'm just going to walk you through the first one here. So all this work should look familiar to you. And the thing I really liked about seeing all this work come together in this exhibition, it was an open call. We had no idea what kind of work would be submitted to us. And I was thrilled with the quality and the diversity of the work, and also the way that things really came together. And, there's a lot of figurative work. There's a few abstract pieces. There's some landscapes. And it made for a really well-rounded exhibition. And you'll have to forgive my modest live streaming studio over here, this stool and pedestal. All right, so that is all of the work that is in this first room here. And we'll go into the next room. And I love that there's a variety of size of the work in this show. It really allows for something I really love doing, which is making this kind of cluster of work on the wall. And it allows me to bring things in close proximity to each other, and sometimes force relationships between the work, but other times accentuate relationships that are already there. Like one thing that I thought was really interesting, there's two pieces, one by Kieran Mocker and one by the Dehi Reddy. The two bodies, almost in the exact same position. And I'm hoping you can see that. So, and then this mask above this, dreaming figure here with this other figure who could be falling or dreaming. Just really interesting relationships here. And, as a curator, I take pride in, the way exhibitions come together. But in this case, everything, was submitted. I did select certain pieces from the artist, but it was just, I was really taken by how well this work goes together. So, like I said, creates a diversity with a lot of the different types of work, but again, a cohesive exhibition. So. And as I said, this work is available through our online shop. So you can go to our website, go to the exhibitions page and find the Figure Ground exhibition. And there's a link there. You can see more photos on our Flickr page. There's also a link on the exhibition page for that. And in the next week or so, we'll be uploading the interactive version of this show, so you'll be able to scroll through and see the exhibition online in its entirety. But definitely I recommend seeing the show in person if you're at all able. So you can go to our website, mainstreetartscs.org, and book an appointment. And you can come see the show for yourself. So I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough, and we hope to see you soon at the gallery. So take care and have a good night. And I'd like to also thank all the artists for being in the show as well.